So I've now set up my canvas so I can start creating my flowchart. A proper flowchart always starts with Terminator so that we can show that we've started the process. So I'm going to drag in one of these Terminators here. Terminator just means to end something, and in this case we're also starting something. So I'm just going to put in start here. Now we're making a flowchart to show the planning process involved in maybe planning a party. So obviously it's up to you what you want to put in your flowchart, but I'm going to start off with deciding on a few things such as what my party is going to be about and the theme. So I'm going to drag in my first process, and you can see here it gives us these line tools so we can align things nice and neatly. The first thing you might want to do is you might decide, because you're going to work with a smaller canvas, to resize your process boxes. So I'm going to resize there, and then we can just click inside, and I'm going to say decide on theme. So that's my first decision. What I want to do is show the flow of what order things are going to happen. So you can see here as I move between these areas, I'm just going to move across, is that when we select on the shape here, we've got the ability to move those 4 arrows there, but if we move to the edge, it turns into a plus, and I can create the arrows to join up. And that red circle there is indicating to me that I can make a connection with another process. Okay, so I've decided on my theme, and maybe my next step is going to decide on the date. So I'm going to copy and paste. The reason I'm doing that is for consistency, so that my flowchart looks good. Double click here, and I'm going to do something like set the date. Okay, and again, simple process. Remember, we move to the edge, we drag between the shapes like so, we look for that red circle which indicates to us that it's connecting. So that's the first couple of steps. What I might want to then do is split off to show some what I call parallel and sequential tasks. So these are sequential. I've decided on the theme, then I've set a date. So I've done one before the other. What I might then do is I've decided on the theme, is start to market it, create some of the icons, some of the posters and so on. So I can do those separately. So I'm just going to quickly copy and paste a few of those shapes. Look, you can see I've got a couple of them here. I just use Command C, Command V there. So I can then do something like, let's say, maybe part of that is to take some photographs. Okay, make sure we spell that correctly, and you can still see I've made a mistake. And then I'm going to create some posters, and let's say we decide also to make a website. Now, depending on the number of people you've got in your team, these might also be parallel tasks. There might be something that are done at the same time. But obviously, if you're making a site and some posters, you probably need the photographs first. So what we also need, first of all, is maybe another box to say we're going to do our marketing. So let's put this up here. There we go. And so I've decided that my marketing, and the first step is to take photographs, but then I'm going to have these 2 tasks under here, which are 2 different people are going to do this. So you can see there that the flow's going this way, but they're next to each other and they're aligned with this one. So while we're setting the date, we're also starting to create our website and our posters, and that's happening at the same time. Now, some of you might decide you don't like these arrows like this, because as you move along you find that it starts to get a bit messy. So if you don't like them, you can change them to elbow connectors just by clicking and selecting here. We can do quite a lot of stuff up here. Like you can see, as soon as I select something it changes, so I can change the arrow style, and if I just click on the arrow again, you can see I can do a double-headed arrow if I wish, and I can even start to change colour and style of the lines, but I'm not going to do any of that. So that's basically how we do the flowchart. It's very simple, and we're just using processes and the start ones. If you do wish to have a decision, so let's say you've set a date and the decision is check with principal. So you're checking the date with the principal, and we'll just put the yes across here. Let's just connect this up now. So if the principal isn't happy with the date, for example, we go back, and that's showing a decision box. So you said we want it on the 15th of March. The principal says, well, that can't happen because, so you would need to go back and set the date again. and then once you've checked with the principle, you can do some other stuff. And that's just showing the kind of planning process involved. Okay, so that's how we do the flowchart. So process, decisions, terminators. You do not need any of the rest of these.